2,000 new cases a day, while beds in the intensive and critical care units are constantly full. As cases spike,
Petra, duduk! Jangan jadi modal politik di sini lah, Muhammad. Duduk!
Korban berapa lama lagi? Berapa ramai?
Assalamualaikum everyone. We are from Group 4. We'll be presenting about lack of meritocracy in Malaysia. But before that, let me introduce the team members. The content of the presentations are the introductions of meritocracy, the symptom lack of meritocracy, the factors to implement meritocracy in Malaysia, the implications lack of meritocracy, the recommendations and conclusion. Without a further ado, let's start with the introductions. Hi guys, I'm Haida and I will start with the introductions of the presentation. There are some weaknesses in the bureaucratic personnel management to be fit in the modern administration. In the traditional authority, Weber's tripartite classifications of authority, a leadership is seen as the legitimate heir from the preceding line of a leadership, which depends on the acceptance of a culture and established tradition. Hence, it can be concluded that this traditional authority is based on inheritance from the previous authority. As a result, the person in charge has the power of legitimize, and the concerned subject, who is the subordinate, will only accept their superior's order because they believe it is the best method to solve the problem. In the Malaysia context, adopting meritocracy in absolute terms may not be practicable, but rejecting it completely will stop our growth and force the country to always run on the spot. Malaysia needs to consider meritocracy in public sector because it is very important for good governance, government competency, and as a strategy to fight the corruptions and solve the inefficient in public sector performance. Malaysia needs to do a huge public personnel reformations to cope with the rapid change and become the self-learning society. The goal of personnel management should be to choose, to hire, and to develop the best candidates for the job or choose the right person at the right job. The symptoms were found in lack of meritocracy are ineffective work performance, corruption, and red tape.
Meritocracy has always been a guarantee that employees will use their effort and accomplishment to lead their organization. One result of not implementing it in the public sector will employ more ineffective public employees that will badly affect their work performance. For those who work for the government, whereby efficient job performance is essential for the nation to have strong governance, it is highly uncomfortable to have inadequate work performance. Some organizations do not take merit into considerations, which prevents them from hiring people based on their qualifications and experience. Good attributes will ensure that public servants can perform successfully, which will improve work performance and potentially lead to a great result. The productivity of every employee in an organization will continue to decline if there is no meritocracy system in the place, especially in public administration. This is because your company does not have a merit and demerit system. Additionally, when the meritocracy system is not used in the public sector, public performance suffers. It's because meritocracy is essentially referred to the system in the compensation for performance. Next, corruption may result from a lack of meritocracy system as well. In the first place, it shouldn't be normalized since corruption affects not just the people who pay bribes, but also affecting the whole organizations. The meritocracy approach, which focuses on hiring and promoting individuals based on their skills, behavior, and attitude, Employees that do well for their organizations will receive rewards under the health benefit and monetary compensation, and even better, promoting to higher positions. The likelihood of dishonesty among public employees is quite high when there is no meritocracy system in the place, because this frequently occurs when government personnel are not adequately compensated. That is why organizations should apply meritocracy, because employees tend to receive benefits and rewards for their accomplishments when the system is adopted.
The third symptom is red tape. It is referring to the regulations or conformity to formal rules or standards which are claimed to be excessive, rigid, or redundant, or to bureaucracy claimed to hinder or prevent actions or decision making. However, in underdeveloped nations like Pakistan, weak laws and regulations have prevented this from happening. The tasks are not finished on time, and the companies in these nations are affected by delays brought on by the red tape. Programs are not carried out by the due date, which increase the likelihood of corruptions in government agency. Furthermore, red tape behavior will influence the productivity in decision making. For example, Pakistan International Airlines and the Pakistan Railway Authority make centralized decisions partly because their employees have less experience, less knowledge and training as compared with those in the private sector. Employee empowerment is further diminished by the primarily centralized decision-making process and the declining performance of public sector employees over the time, which makes this organization ineffective.
A strong merit system, such as meritocracy, will increase the number of employees who are knowledgeable, skilled, and genuinely grasp the range of their jobs, which will benefit the organizations. This involves not only hiring the best candidates and choosing them based on their capabilities. Next, it will be simpler for employees to select individuals based on their qualifications and qualities by using the meritocracy system in public management. Due to the system's requirement for strong qualifications and skills, there will be little risk of favoritism and nepotism in the organizations. Because they are aware that their efforts will be rewarded, employees will work harder. When this occurs, every target and goal may be simply achieved with excellent results. Other organizations will always hold them in high regard due to their performance reputation. Due to its benefits, this will persuade other public management organizations to adopt the meritocracy method.
Okay, the next factor why the meritocracy should be implemented is to have the transparency in personnel management. Since the meritocracy concept is for the qualified and competent individual to obtain the higher rank, income, and so forth, so for sure they have knowledge, skill, and ability to understand their tasks. The benefit from practice the meritocracy is to ensure that the allocated resources are preserved to those who are able to use it effectively. Means here, they know their responsibility that have been given to them to use it wisely. So the idea of meritocracy is still relevant because it protects against fraud, discrimination, and wrongdoing. For example, in the case of Singapore, they practice meritocracy in their country and it became one of the successful key for Singapore. And according to Lee Kuan Yew, he believed that in order to have a good management, it needs high quality of individuals in the organization. So that is why Singapore is really concerned in education for their people before entering the organization to ensure the goal can be achieved without any issue, especially related to corruption. Okay, the next factor is to enhance the quality of bureaucracy in public administration. As we know, if the red tape keep occur in the management, it could give the inefficient process of the work. So in order to reduce in bureaucracy, the proactive action should be taken. Then the merit-based system is believed could increase the professionalism and expertise in the bureaucracy. Because by implementing it, the meritocracy could boost and encourage the individual performance of work, and they believe in order to get a higher position or rewards, they need to put a good performance and show a good effort. So from that, the performance quality of work also will be improved. Furthermore, it also can improve the human resource management by standardize the qualification to enter the organization. So the issue like work delay, demotivation can be avoided. Then the foreign minister, which is Saifuddin Abdullah, said that Malaysia should focus on meritocracy because we want to give chance for young generation to lead and utilize their talent and also expand. It also said it's better for the qualified individual to be promoted earlier so they can develop their expertise in a longer period rather than the bureaucracy system that need to follow the policy, rules and hierarchy to gain the specific position, which may result in a slow process of procedure.
Hi, my name is Putri Aina. I will continue to discuss the effect of lack of meritocracy in Malaysia, highlighting its positive effect. The positive effect of Malaysia not practicing meritocracy is it can avoid deeper inequality. The belief that meritocracy fosters equality is no longer completely reliable. We must know that merit itself is largely determined by chance, in which the concept of non-discrimination ignores. The system treats people from fundamentally different backgrounds as if they are equal when in fact they are not. Let's think about it. How can people from lower income families have the same opportunities and access to education as those from higher income families? This way, those picked by meritocracy as having merit for any open position in the future may have already profited from unfair benefits from the start. Hence, if rigid meritocracy is imposed, the great majority of people, particularly those in the lower and middle classes, will be unable to improve their standard of living due to a lack of qualification and chances. For example, the issue of social mobility has been a heated topic amid growing recognition that widening inequality in Singapore, prompting calls for a rethinking of meritocracy due to growing disparities between these two classes.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fatina Zamiti Salim. One of the consequences of lack of meritocracy is being trained. What is being trained? Bending describes have the movement of professional personnel to another region of the globe in the guise of greater level of life, rising incomes, ability to new technology, fair treatment and much more secure democratic situation. More than 500 highly skilled nations distributed globally over the previous 40 years, according to World Bank survey conducted in 2010 and 2011. 1 in every 10 talented Malaysian born in Malaysia choose to flee the nation and practice their profession and abilities overseas. This trend has increased in recent years, with many young people choosing to stay and work in foreign countries after finishing their academic journey overseas. Some desire to return, but unable to do so due to lack of opportunity in their home country. Many parents now advising their children who study abroad to look for work overseas rather than return home. Every organization or business has their own recruiting procedure. However, passing the recruitment process does not rely just on certification and qualification. People who lack connection and cable with the people in the organization are unlikely to get hired. Professor Jameston, the director of Asia Institute Tasmania at the University of Tasmania, once said that if nations are given a chance to be successful, it would not be based on meritocracy, but rather on the fact that the individual are the honest sons or have other resources.
Next, our first recommendation is that Malaysia should adopt meritocracy and apply it with Malaysian characteristics. Although Malaysia is not ready to implement total meritocracy, they must at least implement meritocracy at a professional level. This is critical, especially at a professional level such as in medical, engineering, law, and other critical fields, because candidates are currently not chosen primarily on their competence. If this is ignored, the country will lose many great talents. Even now, thousands of highly qualified scientists and doctors from Malaysia work in other countries instead. Hence, adopting a meritocracy with Malaysian characteristics can help reduce the country's talent drain while also propelling it forward. Malaysia also can take meritocratic countries such as Singapore, Japan, and China as reference to learn from their experience.
The second recommendation is appointed based on academic qualification and individual skill. Every organization must assess the recruiting process and apply meritocracy recruitment process, in which organization will recruit people exclusively on their basis of their expertise. capability, qualification, and experience, and not based on their connection or social standing. This is important because a good, transparent, and fair hiring process will create highly skilled personnel capable of producing an efficient and productive work environment. When candidates are picked based on relationships, the fundamental of critical attributes of successful professionals are missing.
To be concluded, in order for Malaysia to apply meritocracy in the management, it needed a lot of contribution and strategic planning. It is because Malaysia is still not fully ready and fit to implement meritocracy at all levels. If all the basic needs are fully achieved by the society or individual, the meritocracy were relevant to implement. It means all the individual need to have the same benefit to avoid the disadvantaged group keep left out in the society. So the responsible group need to play their part by providing certain privilege or benefit to them so they can keep up with the development or progress. That's all from us. Thank you.